My name is Mia Bennett, and I'm 35 years old. It was Christmas Eve, and my sister had just leaned across the ham and said, 35 and still single? Wow, Christmas must get pretty lonely. Loud enough for the whole table to hear. Everyone laughed. My father laughed hardest. And my mom, still holding her wine up for the toast she'd been about to make, smiled that soft smile of hers and said, "Oh, she's just joking." I set my drink down. I didn't say anything yet. But here's what none of them knew. I hadn't flown home to Ohio to be laughed at over dinner. I'd flown home because a week earlier, a folder had crossed my desk with my own name signed at the bottom of a contract I had never seen, in handwriting that was not mine. Welcome back to Calm Drama Stories. This is where we sit with the quiet women who finally stop apologizing, the ones who kept the peace until keeping it cost too much. Grab your coffee, get comfortable, drop a comment, and be sure to subscribe. You should know who I am before I tell you what I did, because the two things don't match the way my family tells it. I'm an acoustician. I design rooms that hold sound the way a good cup holds coffee. No spill, no echo, nothing lost. Recording studios, lecture halls, a children's hospital in Chicago where the machines beep softer now because I taught the walls to eat the harshness out of them. I built my own practice from a rented desk and a borrowed calibration mic, and today, people fly me across the country to make their silence sound right. My family knows none of this in any way that counts. To them, I am the daughter who left, the one who never married on schedule, the one whose life is a punchline between the mashed potatoes and the pie. I hadn't been back to Columbus in 2 years. I hadn't planned on coming this year either. Then Dale, an old technician who still worked the Bennett acoustics floor and still remembered who taught him to solder, called me on a Tuesday and said, real quiet, "Mia, they're about to close a deal on the panel line. Investors. Big money. And your dad keeps telling them the design's clean. All signed over. All in the family." He paused. "But I never saw you sign anything. Did you?" I hadn't. That's when I booked the flight. Not for the ham. Not for the toast. For a sentence in a document I needed to see with my own eyes before I let anyone tell me I was imagining things. Because a signature is a small thing until it's yours, and it's yours until someone decides it belongs to the family too. But that was all still folded up inside me at the dinner table, and my family had no idea. Chloe was on a roll now. My little sister runs marketing for the firm, which mostly means she's good at deciding what version of a story people are allowed to hear. "I'm just saying," she went on, spearing a carrot. "Some of us made choices. Some of us built things." Mia went off to, what is it again? Making rooms quiet? More laughter. My father set his fork down and did the thing he always does, the thing that used to make me feel chosen when I was small. He spread his hands like he was blessing the whole room and said, Now, this family built something real. 50 years of the Bennett name on that building." He looked around, warm, certain. "And whatever any one of us does, we do it for the name. The name comes first. It always has." Everyone nodded like scripture had been read. My mother refilled glasses and murmured, "Let's not make the meal about all that." Which is what she says whenever anything true tries to get up off the floor. I felt the old pull to shrink, to laugh along, to make myself smaller so the evening could stay smooth. 15 years I'd been doing that from a distance. 15 years of being the quiet room where nobody had to hear the hard thing. I looked at my glass. I looked at my mother, poised and glowing, wine lifted halfway to the ceiling. And for the first time in a very long time, I did not shrink. I just set my drink down on the tablecloth. Gently. The way you set down something you're finally done carrying. "Don't worry about me," I said. My voice came out even, almost kind. "I've been married for a long time." The table did not so much go quiet as go vacuum sealed. You have to understand, I know silence professionally. I can tell you the difference between a room that's empty and a room that's holding its breath. This was the second kind. My mother's wine glass stopped in the air, tilted, mid-toast, the light still catching the rim. Her smile stayed on her face a half second too long, the way a photograph keeps smiling after the person has left. Chloe's fork clicked against her plate. You're… what? She said. Married. I folded my hands. 6 years, actually. My father's eyebrows climbed toward a hairline that had been retreating for a decade. 6 years. He said it slowly, like a number that wouldn't add up no matter how he stacked it. You've been married 6 years and you never told your own family? And there it was. Already, before the plates were even cleared. The pivot. Not are you happy? Not who is he? But how could you keep something from us? As if the keeping were the crime. My mother finally lowered her glass without drinking. Her hand was not quite steady. Mia, she said, and her voice had gone thin. Why would you hide that? I looked at all of them. These people who had spent a decade turning my life into a joke they told at dinner, and I thought about how to explain that you don't hand your happiness to someone who's shown you exactly what they do with the things you love. But I didn't say that. Not yet. I just said, because I wanted one thing that was only mine. The questions came all at once, the way they